This is the Superfine class, 18.6 micron to 20.5 micron in the Suri and the whites. In the first position, number 5 at 6 months of age, this fleece carrying through with excellent solidity within the lock already at such a young age. Packing a lot of fiber from this fleece, this alpaca carries the consistency across, also organizing very well within the structure, showing the overall uniformity. Within this fleece has a very slick handle, a very healthy fleece as well. And when you put your hands on this fleece, because of the amount of fiber packed in there, you get a really cool feel carrying all the way across. Into the second position, number 22 at 6 months of age. Again, we're seeing a really well developed fleece, a high degree of luster within the fleece. Moving out to the extremities, just a little bit more variation, but across the fleece within the main blanket here, you're seeing the consistency within the lock and that overall solidity that was recognized, and this alpaca coming into second place, also with a lovely length for the age. Into the third position, we have alpaca number 1. This alpaca was 17 months of age, so we're seeing an regrowth fleece here. Because we're judging in grade categories, we have a combination of ages within each grouping. Within this fleece, the regrowth certainly carrying with a good degree of style, not quite the same solidity or density within the fleece, but still maintaining an excellent handle overall. This fleece here is got a silkiness to it, a little bit of a soft cot, but opens up easily and will be very usable in the commercial process. Number 8 in the 4th place position, 9 months of age. This fleece here found to be a little bit drier to the hand. When you put your hand on this fleece, you can see it's a little duller, a little bit more dirt has got close to the skin, not packing the same amount of fibers within each lock and resistance to that dirt getting up there. Within this fleece, we'd just like to have that next level of brilliance and luster, that dryness to that hand, carrying across number 8, yet still a very fine fleece overall. Into fleece number 21. This fleece is a regrowth fleece off of a 29-month-old alpaca, maintaining fineness as this alpaca is aging. As you can see, the fleece having just a little bit of a cotting, but still easy to open up and still carrying very good integrity and strength. This has a silky handle, is going to process into a really exquisite yarn and finished product. Into the 6th place alpaca here, we're seeing a little more variation within the structure and style to this fleece. We're not seeing the same degree of density within the lock. This alpaca being 10 months of age, so at such a young age, we'd just like to have a little more consistency across. Has a coolness to the touch, but just a lighter fleece overall. Here we have 4 entries in the Superfine 18.6 to 20.5 micron in the light fawn Suri category. In first place, number 10, at 6 months of age, carrying through with a great degree of consistency and brilliance and luster within the fleece. You can see already the organized structure and how the fibers are layering on top of one another and packing into each individual lock. As you put your hands on this fleece, it has a coolness to the touch. It carries through with good solidity and overall carries the uniformity into the first position. Number 104 in second place is developing throughout very nicely. As I come to the cut end of the fleece, you can see it opens up well and is also packing a lot of fiber into each of those locks. Within this fleece, however, I find it a little bit drier to the hand, and the first place alpaca having that greater degree of density and much higher degree of luster across the fleece. Moving to number 30 being 45 months of age. This alpaca here is showing an excellent regrowth to the fleece. When you look at this fleece for the age of the alpaca, maintaining that fineness throughout. As I open up the fleece, you still have that fineness and softness of hand. So it's great to see this older alpaca in this category of superfine between 18.6 and 20.5 micron, maintaining that fineness as the alpaca is maturing and certainly producing a very usable fiber in the suri with that high degree of luster and slickness to hand. Into the fourth position here, getting a highly commended ribbon, number 9 at 10 months of age. This alpaca is carrying through with a little bit of a slight cot to the fleece. As you work through the fleece, you have to work a little harder to open it up. Also, we had a deduction on this fleece for being over long in the growing period, over 140 millimeters. Within the fleece, we've got a slickness to the hand, but just a little flatter, not the same degree of luster as we were seeing above. Here we have the medium and dark fawn class in the superfine 18.6 to 20.5 micron. Alpaca number 33, 30 months of age. This fleece was a little bit drier to the hand, would like to have had the next level of luster and brilliance to the fleece. As this fleece was assessed, you can see from the averaging of the fibers, we ended up in an overlong situation, which was a deduction on the scorecard as well. The fleece does have some cotting to it. You have to work a little bit harder to open up this fleece, certainly a consideration in processing. Overall, the fleece is a tiny bit stretchy as well. It's not breaking, but it is certainly showing the weathering from being on the alpaca. It took a second place ribbon in its category. Moving to the Roan number 14, 7 months of age. This fleece had a very silky handle to the fleece. It is in the Roan category, and you can see the distribution of light fibers throughout the lock. Overall, having a very nice handle to the fleece, but again, we ended up in an overlong situation, over 140 millimeters, taking a deduction because of the processing abilities there. Within the fleece, as a young fleece, you can see tipping out in color on the ends. Within the fleece overall, that consistent light fiber, putting it into this Roan category. Moving to number 25. Number 25 is in a class of 2. The 2 blacks in this class, number 25 being 18 months of age. At 18 months of age, we're carrying good solidity within the lock. There are some very light white fibers in there, a light content. Would like to see a little bit more consistency. However, with that being said, still maintaining a really slick, cool hand to this fleece, which was very much appreciated on this 18-month-old fiber growth on number 25. Moving to number 18, this fleece more cotted. You can see as I open this up, it takes a bit more to pull the fleece apart. This also ended up in an overlong situation at 190 millimeters. This going to have to be cut to be processed. Within this fleece, we were seeing some luster, and as I open up the fleece, you can see the structure within the lock, not packing a lot of solidity overall, but still maintaining a nice handle to the fleece and an overall luster throughout. Very proud to present the Superfine Champion and Reserve Champion in the 18.6 to 20.5 category in the Suris. The champion going to number 10, Baruka Orange number 13, and the reserve champion going to number 5, Baruka Orange number 15. Two great examples of solidity within the lock, beautiful luster within these fleeces, and even such young fleeces already showing that consistency across and heavy cutting weights. Congratulations.